We're kind of getting into that part of training camp where things get ramped up.
Oh, yeah, pads popping today with a game just 4 days away. Jags got aggressive this morning. Full pads plus hot sun equal. Here we go.
Did you say game? You put on pads on Sunday? There's a game on Thursday. Pretty crazy with the Pro Football Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Action Sports Jax Primetime. It is a game week. Jags and Raiders coming up Thursday night from Canton, Ohio during Tony Baselli week. Brent Martin, Dan Hicken ready to roll. But before we celebrate the past.
Yeah, we got to look to the present, right? The 2022 Jaguars put the pads on for the first time this football season. We now have football games for the rest of the year. How about that? So what about some camp observations? Let's start on the offensive side of the ball after 1 week. I think everybody would agree that they like what they see from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, overall, I think sharper. There's been moments, though, like even today, and we'll get to it in a bit, that the offense didn't look so great.
Right.
But again, 16 looks pretty good and looks the part in Doug Peterson's offense.
Such an important year for that young man going forward. And one of the guys that will help him will be Travis Etienne. Now, I said if whatever the over-under is on receptions for Travis Etienne, I'd probably play the over.
Yeah, and he looks explosive. Meanwhile, Marvin Jones Jr. not slowing down. We caught up with him this week. It was a fun conversation.
He looked good yesterday. He caught everything.
Everything, yeah. Tight ends, some drops with Evan Ingram. Is that going to be a narrative concern? Keep an eye on that.
Well, it always has been, so why would it be any different?
Yeah, and a rookie at center, by the way. We'll talk more offensive line in a moment. How about defensively observations, Dan? Top pick Trayvon Walker, number 44. All eyes on him.
Yeah, and we won't really start to get a feel for him until we get into the season and stuff. But obviously he looks the part, right? And that's the exciting part of it so far. He's an unbelievable athlete. How will that translate remains to be seen.
Yeah, Josh Allen, same way. Unbelievable athlete in a contract year. Improved secondary as well with a maybe cornerback-wise, maybe one of the best trios in the entire NFL. But keep an eye on a couple of guys that are missing, right? Devin Lloyd and Foley Fatukasi nursing some injuries.
It appeared to be serious, though.
That's true. Listen, this morning I was tweeting like a madman.
You were?
Which is kind of something I do, Dan. But we had
one-on-ones. I looked at your
one-on-ones.
tweets the other day.
Yeah? How were they? Were they good?
No, the amount of tweets.
A lot.
You do tweet like a madman.
I do, especially because there's
you
no
might
fans.
lead the world in tweets.
I might, but there's no fans. Now I tweet some useless stuff, but today I thought I was tweeting some good stuff for the fans.
Well, that's true because they can't go watch.
They can't watch, and so look at the array.
And by the way, we can't shoot this part either.
We can't. We're not allowed
Just
to
so
show
people
video.
understand, yeah.
So this is the illustration stuff. The offense wasn't good to start.
Okay.
Trevor was 1 of 6. 3 drops, by the way, by 3 different guys.
Dear.
Trevor basically threw an interception that was later dropped as well by Rayshon Jenkins. And then there was some good stuff, like look at that. What a throw by Trevor to Kirk.
Okay.
But Shaq Griffin with a heck of a play at the end of it.
Oh,
so
okay.
A little bit of everything. And then the one-on-one stuff was pretty fun because, first of all, Cam Robinson was excellent today. Trayvon Walker showed some moments today as well. But, that's the nature of this time of camp with everything going on and the pads going on. One-on-ones is something we're going to talk about a lot inside the trenches. Here's some news and notes from around camp today, Dan.
Yeah, there are some injuries week 1. None believed to be serious. Team's big free agent defensive lineman Fatukasi on the sideline with a calf injury. Jawan Taylor losing his grip on the right tackle job for now. You can't make the club in the tub.
No.
And the former Gator has a hamstring issue. Walker Little getting the majority of snaps at the position. And Doug Peterson really not ready to say who's in and who's out of Thursday's game in Ohio. Only to say the young guys need to get some reps. Might be a 4-game schedule on paper, Brent, but really games 2 and 3 are the important ones.
The number one thing is player safety and protecting each other, practicing hard, practicing fast, being smart about it. Nobody's going to the ground. Hopefully, we try to stay off the ground, no live tackling, things like that. But you're kind of getting used to wearing the extra gear now. We're kind of getting into that part of training camp where things get ramped up.
It's nice to put shoulder pads on and actually just be able to make it feel like football. With shells, you're going full speed, but you still got to take care of each other. But with pads, you can, get those real fits that, Phil always talks about in meetings.
And one other note here, one player who is standing out early on, that's second-year cornerback Tyson Campbell, who has been making some big plays early. Campbell started slowly, you'll remember, 1 season ago, but really improved in the second half. He might have been the only guy that showed significant improvement last season under Urban Meyer. And he's poised to become one of the better players on the defensive side of the ball. We caught up with him this morning.
It was fun, man. You got to get a little thudding in today, get the pads popping, so it was exciting.
We can hear guys chirping a little bit more. The intensity pick up?
Yeah, man. It's getting real competitive out here. Sun beating on us, guys getting agitated, so, it's part of the game, so it's all good.
Is there a mental part of that kind of ramps up in your own mind, like, okay, football season feels like it started today after the warm-up to this?
Yeah, you kind of feel like you're getting back into, the thick of it. So, everybody has that physicality mindset. Everybody working on their craft. So
A lot of hype around you, of course. You finished last year really strong, and you look like you're off to a nice start. Do you feel like you're coming into your own as an NFL player?
I feel like this year a lot of things are slowing down for me. I'm taking what I learned last year and bringing it with me, and I'm still learning now. Trying to get better each and every day, 1% better. That's all I can do, and let God do the rest. Control what I can control.
Anything did you do this offseason to focus on from a body standpoint or technique standpoint? What was your homework assignment?
I've just been lifting, working on my feet work, hands, my press, off-ball coverage, just everything. The total package really, and recovery as well. So I've been just trying to get my body right and learn to be a professional. So.
Do you start putting goals on yourself? Can you do that now? Maybe you did it last year too. But.
Yeah, I make goals every year, and I try to accomplish them. So I still got goals for this year. Of course, team and personal goals. But yeah, I got goals.
Where do you put them? You write them down somewhere? Do you speak about them?
I really believe in say what you mean and believe what you say. So I always talk out loud. I believe in manifestation. So I believe whatever I say, can come true. So.
Can you share any of your goals?
I'm trying to make the Pro Bowl, win some games, make the playoffs, help my team any way I can.
Tyson, there's so much attention, I think, on this Mike Caldwell defense and what it might look like. I think mostly on the front seven part. How much does a defensive coordinator change what you guys might do in the secondary?
I don't think it changes much. I feel like football is football. Of course, he's a defensive coordinator, so he calls everything in the benefit of the defense. So I feel like he knows all his players' strengths, and he feels like whatever he calls is going to benefit everybody on the field.
We've got some ESPN coverage coming up this week as well. ESPN 690 live from Canton. A new look, a new sound. Not the same old guys like some other places in town.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was written a different way before I got to that. He fashions himself a football wideout. He's our Marcel Robinson, the king of flag football fields throughout Jacksonville, Dan.
So today he must feel right at home as he takes a look at the Jaguar wideouts, expected to be much better this fall.
Back with another position group to watch during training camp. We focus on the defensive side of the ball last time. Today, we'll shift to the offense. Everything ties back to the quarterback, of course, but as we saw last year, number 16 can't do it alone. Let's take a look at some of the receiving numbers from last season. Marvin Jones was clearly Trevor's top target, over 70 receptions on his 120 targets, and he led the group in receiving touchdowns. Laviska Shenault was second. I was surprised to see that he had a better year catching the football, but the glaring difference from his rookie year to last year, the lack of touchdowns. 5 in his rookie season, 0 last season. Thanks to an injury-riddled season that regularly shook up the lineup, Laquan Treadwell earned another contract with the Jaguars, and of course, the main departure from that unit, DJ Chark. His season was done after 4 games due to that fractured ankle he suffered up in Cincinnati. In comes Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. The Jaguars' free agent acquisitions. Zay Jones comes over from the Raiders. Fun fact about Zay Jones, he played for the Buffalo Bills when the Jags took them down in the playoffs back in 2017. Early in camp, he's shown his speed, and his hands have looked very dependable thus far. As for Christian Kirk, he nearly had 1,000 yards last year with Arizona. He played in all 17 games. Now entering his 5th year, he's earned big money and is expected to play like he's been paid.
I can truly say that I'm playing the most free-minded and just pressure-free and relaxed football that I've felt in a while. I truly feel that having this new opportunity in a new organization, a new team, around some new teammates, I could truly just be myself and focus on being the best that I can be for these guys and being the leader and just going out there and putting it all on the line for them.
Gosh, I don't think he missed a day in the offseason. It's a young, impressionable room, and he's one of the leaders in there, and he's done some really good things. He's a silent leader.
While we're counting on the new guys to come in and fill the voids that have been missing, let's not forget about the returning playmakers.
We always want to, get our work in and stuff like that, but it's great to have, everybody that we have, because everybody adds a lot to the game, so it's going to be very exciting, so I'm excited for that.
I think you played like 94% of the snaps last year. Is it a good thing to pull back on that, to be more fresh with some of the weapons that they've brought in?
No, I mean, I trained to play all game, and I've been doing that for the past 10 years, so, if I have to do that, I like to be in the game.
The fire still burns and the competitive spirit remains for number 11. You love to see it. As far as the other guys, Jamal Agnew looks great coming off his injury-shortened season as well. We briefly spoke about Laviska Shenault, still wondering what this new regime has in store for him. The jury is still out. Those are the main names to keep track of, but some of the camp guys are making a little noise. Jeff Cotton Jr., Tim Jones, Lawan Winningham, just a few names you'll see on the Twitter streams as we get through practice. In the studio, Marcel Robinson, Action Sports Jax.
Good stuff. First and 10 training camp continues all August, next week from Canton as well. First and 10 training camp, 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30 weeknights.
Brandon Sheriff's a heck of a football player and is close to a Baselli type as we have. He's big, he's strong, he's feisty, and he's been an all-pro. Sheriff will help the right side of the line and should be a force in the ground game, too.
Everybody's coachable and, trying to do what Phil asked us to do. You see some of those plays where we're breaking out 20, 30, 40-yard runs, so that's what you want to see as an offensive line. It's kind of cool, doing our job and then seeing Travis and Rock and Snoop, hit those holes and, there's nobody around them. So that's when we know that we're doing our job and we just got to keep stacking them.
A lot of questions about this football team, but not with that guy. He is a mainstay
Good football
and really one of the best players in the league when healthy. NFL is about close games, and to win close games, you got to make your field goals. You got to be able to kick it. I'm a lefty. Right now, the Jags aren't making their field goals, but at least nothing counts right now.
Right.
Dan, I want to bring this wall that says it all back up, because this has been a problem in Jacksonville now for a couple of years. We made this
we
kicker
used to be
carousel.
so good at it.
Before
We've had three
there's
great
Lambeau
kickers.
and there's Hollis and there's Scobie, and then there's all this.
Yeah.
Remember, there was a disaster a couple of seasons ago.
Wow.
And Matthew Wright kind of held it down and stopped the bleeding a little bit. And here we go. The combatants are Ryan Santoso, Dan, who's a big dude.
Yeah, you gotta
if he
see
can't
to
play
believe
kicker,
him.
he probably should play some other position.
A big dude, man, like 6'4", 6'5". Doesn't look like a kicker, but has a big leg. But he's been a little bit inconsistent so far, so they cut another guy, the Mevis kid. They brought in Elliott Fry, who I think is on his 8th team. He's only kicked a couple of times.
He knows how to try out.
Yeah. So and I guess he's been signed, right? He's from South Carolina. I remember when he was kicking in South Carolina. That's where I remember him.
He made a long one today, by the way, out there.
I would say this, honestly, Brent, I'm not sure that the kicker, now again, I don't want to disparage these two guys. They got a chance here. Got to take advantage of it. But I'm not sure the kicker is on the roster right now.
Listen, we've covered this enough to know that sometimes early camp narratives become a problem.
Yeah.
This feels like it's in the mind of not only the kickers, the team, and the coaches, and the fan base, and everything. Like, it's a story. That why can't the Jags find a kicker?
You don't want to be down 21-19 to Washington week 1 with a 48-yarder and have to worry if he's going to make it or not.
Yeah, and by the way,
these guys are...
There's enough question marks on the team.
Correct.
It would be nice to have that one not be a question mark, but it is.
Action Sports Jax Primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.